friends, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Sigrid and I make videos about books because I love them. Please ignore the background. This is going to be a vlog style video because I will be going to Apollycon. This clip is actually filmed after I went to Apollycon because I forgot to film an intro, but I will be doing a reading vlog in this video where I read as many books as I possibly can from the authors who will be attending Apollycon, and then well, yeah, that's pretty much the video. So I will be doing that. It's gonna be really fun. Lots of different hairstyles because this took like a month. So I think I have like 3 different hairstyles in this video. That's fun. I will also be doing a follow-up video where I go over the books that I was able to get signed and all of the swag that I got from Apollycon. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. But this video is going to be ultimately my reading vlog. So I had a ton of fun filming this vlog. It's been a really long time since I've done one. And I got a lot of books read. I had a lot of fun filming it. And yeah, so I just wanted to introduce the video and let you guys know what I will be doing. So I will see you guys in my next clip where I will start reading books for Apollycon. Okay, hi guys. I am at Whole Foods. This is where I go to return my Amazon books. You guys know during my birthday haul, there was one book that I said I didn't know if I wanted to keep it or not, and it was like $40. Let me show you the book. So it's so big, it is huge, and this is the book that I got, and I thought it was going to be a book set, and it's like one giant book, and it was $40. So I've decided to actually return it. I know I said that I didn't know and I wasn't sure, but now I've decided to return it because I was looking through it and like reading all of the books that I plan on reading for June, and I read like a little bit of this book, and it's not going to be for me. It's going to be like high fantasy, YA fantasy, and I just no. And I feel like, honestly, instead of keeping this giant book, I could swap it and use the $40 to get some of the other books that I'm super excited about that I know I'm gonna like from other authors. And I actually do have another book from this author, and I will be getting the second book in that series, which I actually like. So it's not like, you know, the author is gonna suffer because I'm definitely getting something else from her, and I will be meeting her, and then I'll use the rest of the money to get some of the other books that I am super excited to get signed. But yeah, I'm about to go in and swap this out, and then I will let you guys know what other books that I get from Amazon to take to Apollycon. Hi friends, so I am jumping in to kind of tell you guys about the books that I've read so far for Apollycon. So the first book that I read was American Royalty. This is a book about a female rapper whose love interest is like a UK prince, and it's definitely Meghan Markle, Harry fanfic. And like, I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. It's amazing. I love the relationship and the banter and like how they interact with each other. It's so cute. Dani, who is the female main character, I love her so much. Like, she's such a gem. I can't wait to meet this author and tell her and just gush about how much I love this person. So me and my fiance was kind of trying to guess, like, who was the rapper inspired by? Like, you know, I know it's Meghan Markle, but like the female aspect, I'm thinking like maybe it's inspired by someone. And so I'm thinking like, I thought it was going to be Nicki Minaj, and I think that's wrong. And my fiance was like, oh, I think it's Eve because I know that she married this guy who I think he's royal or something. So I'm like, And then I saw on Instagram that someone was like, what if Meghan Markle was Megan Thee Stallion? And I was like, that is it. That is her. It's her. Because Dani in the book has like a southern drawl. Like, she has a southern accent. And I'm like, Megan Thee Stallion is from Texas. Like, what? Oh my gosh. So this book is great. I love it. I will say, the audiobook might not be as great, so I would probably like read it physically. But I definitely listened to the audiobook and it was okay. But my friend didn't like the audiobook, so just letting you guys know that. Then I read Thank You Next by Andy J. Christopher. So this book's to follow a woman named Alex. She is a divorce attorney, and immediately I love when the protagonist is also an attorney because I'm an attorney in real life, and so I like to see myself reflected in books. She is biracial, and so I was like, yes, finally we get a BIPOC attorney, like, you know. So I was excited about that, and it follows Alex as she kind of sees one of her older like guys who did not want to commit to her. He's on a TV show called Say Yes to the Dress, which is actually a real TV show, I think. But it's basically, if you've ever been in a relationship with someone who just did not want to commit to you, and then after they commit to someone. That has happened to me so many times. So I love this book. I was like really feeling it. I think I ultimately gave it 3 stars, however, because the relationship between the love interest, whose name is Will, it's kind of like he's like a childhood friend slash family member. Like, I don't know, like they're not family, but it was kind of like family by marriage, if that makes sense. I didn't really feel the relationship between them. I wasn't really feeling it. I didn't really care for it. And that's why I kind of had to knock the points. But I really like Alex as a character. But there were like certain parts where I was like rolling my eyes. Honestly, it was. I will still get this signed. I don't think I'm going to reread it. But I will get it signed for the next person who ends up with this book. Okay, and then finally, I am currently reading this, The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. I was so excited to read this. I wanted to read this first because I knew that there was going to be this salacious affair between the husband and his male boss. And I was like, oh, this is going to be juicy. This is going to be everything. And I was so disappointed because this happens within the first 2 chapters of the book. Like, I know it's on the back of the book. It's widely known. It's in the summary. And so I was excited to actually like see this. Like, you know, I wanted it to be more juicy. And it was kind of like she catches him and that's that. And then she moves on to the pool boy. And it's like, now I'm on 38%. And then now it's like, it's all about the pool boy. I don't care for him. Like, I just want the juiciness. I wanted it to be more plot. And I feel like it's more smut. And I don't mind smut in my books, my romance books, but I want plot. Like, something needs to happen because, like, right now it's just literally just smut. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't really care for the pool boy. I don't like that. I don't ship that relationship with them. And yeah, so like just for this book, I was a little disappointed because I was expecting for the affair to be something that lasted a little bit longer than 2 chapters. Like it was like immediately done and then it was over and then we moved on to the pool boy. Yeah, so I'm still reading this. I will probably finish it up today, but right now it's looking like a 3-star. But I will let you guys know in the next clip. I'll probably jump in like every 3 books and just give you a short review of each of them and like what I rated it and what I like and didn't like about it. I actually pre-ordered so many books from this author and I'm just like, dang, it's gonna be filled with smut and no plot. So I ordered The Architect. I have The Doctor already, which I'm taking to get signed. And then I ordered her, I think it's called The Initiation. There's like 6 books in that series, but book 1 is The Initiation. So I'm hoping that I like that series. Maybe, you know what, this might surprise me and turn out to be better and it might get like 4 or 5 stars, but so far I'm just not feeling the relationship. I want something else to happen. Like, come on, something juicy. Give me plot, okay? Yeah, so that's what I've read so far. I will check in with you guys like after I read a few more books and I will tell you what those are about in my thoughts. Okay, hi, hello. Hi guys, I'm just coming from the pool and I know I said I was gonna come in and tell you guys after I read a few more books, but I just finished this poolside. Yes, hello. I finished this book and it redeemed itself quite nicely. So I realized what I was missing was drama. Okay, that's what I wanted. I wanted stuff to hit the fan. I wanted angst. I wanted trouble. I wanted something else besides just smut, and they gave it to me like full, like, yes. So I'm gonna hold it in front of me because I am wearing a bathing suit, but anyways, oh my gosh, there's so much in this book. So you guys know that the main character is dating a pool boy. I told you that in the earlier clip, but it's her best friend's son. And that is the angst that I was looking for. Like, she gave it to me. Nikki Sloan, she gave that to us in this book because that wasn't like speeded over. That was a conflict that needed to be like developed from several chapters. It was something that was leering over them several times. That's what I wanted. I wanted the affair to be like that, where it's like, oh, I think he might be cheating, and then we find out later on. But this one, where it's like, we have to keep it a secret because I'm managing you, but also like, she's my best friend, so I have to tell her. I needed this. This is what I needed. This shot the book up from a 3-star to a 4-star to me. Now I am happy. I was so nervous because I was like, am I not gonna like this book? Like, I liked it. And then not only that, surprisingly, I was starting to ship the relationship. Like, I was really becoming interested in the characters and actually starting to believe their relationship. Like, what? I know. So I don't know. I recommend it. I recommend it to people. If you're looking for smut, you're gonna love this because it's a lot. But I am someone, if I'm reading a romance and it has smut in it, it's fine. But I definitely has to have some type of plot like in it. I need to see something else besides every 5 pages it's smut city. Like, I get tired. Like, reading smut makes me tired. I'm like, gosh, you guys just did this 3 pages ago. Like, do you not need rest or sleep? Okay, but I will say this, like, I know this is a series, and I know you don't have to read them in order, but I feel like I probably should have picked The Doctor as the book to read. I feel like this one is probably not as good as The Doctor, because even like their little interaction, oh, mind you, the characters from the first book is also in here, but like, I'm just so intrigued with that story. Like, I really am. Like, I'm like, I want to know more. I want to know more. I only got like a few pages of the Doctor talking, but I just know I'm gonna like that one. That one's probably gonna be a 5-star. This one was a 4-star. I feel like at first it was really, really interesting. It drew me in from the first few chapters, and then like once the cheating thing was over, it kind of just was like pool boy. I'm having like sex with him all the time. Oh, let's manage him. And then it's kind of just like, and then we get to the end where it's like, oh, it's my best friend's son. She can't find out. And then it was like, we have to keep ourselves a secret from the public because I'm your manager. That's when it got interesting. The ending, that's when it got interesting. So do I recommend this book? Yes, I'm excited to get it signed. I'm excited to meet Nikki, and I'm kind of excited to read The Doctor. I will not be reading it right now because I have other books to read, but I definitely feel like The Doctor is going to be my favorite out of this book series. I did pre-order the 3rd book in the series. I think that's the last one. It's called The Architect. So I will be reading that one as well. Probably like maybe next month, because this month is just fully booked. Okay, so that's everything I have for this book. I will meet you guys back in maybe like tomorrow or something when I've read a few more books. So, okay, hi friends, update time. Okay, so I have read 3 more books. Well, technically 4 since I last did a clip. One of them was not related to Apollycon, so I'm not going to talk about it, but it was Spy Family Volume 1. I loved it, 5 stars, but we're going to move on to what I actually read for Apollycon. So let's just go in reverse order. So I just finished There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, and this is a serial killer romance, and I thought it was going to be my thing. I was really into it. A lot of people have hyped it up, and it's just not my cup of tea. It really isn't. So it follows Cole and Mara. It's their love story. Cole is like a serial killer, but he's also an artist, and Mara is like a struggling artist as well. And yeah, so something happens, right? And Cole sees Mara just literally almost at death, and he chooses to leave her. Like, that's what the entire like thing is about. And my issues with this book is I don't understand how a love story could come to be after that. Like, you know, it was him, you know that he chose to leave you to die, and you choose to love him. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't think that I could personally get over that, and I can't understand it. Yeah, what was the other thing? I feel like there were a lot of issues with consent in here as well. It was just, a lot of the scenes were very questionable to me as to like whether Mara actually wanted to do it. There were some things where it's like, I don't want to go into details and spoil it, but it was something that he did to her that was very painful, that I feel like consent was definitely needed. It wasn't anything sexual, but it was more like, a possession kind of thing. And it's like, I'm pretty sure Mara would have said no, or she might have said yes, like if he asked, but he never asked. It was never anything that was discussed, and he did that. And then later on in the story, there was something else that he did that, you know, he just never asked for anything. It's just, he does it. And then it's like, Mara would be like, oh, I loved it. But I'm like, did you really? Or like, are you just saying that because it's after the fact? I don't know, but maybe I'm thinking too much into it. But honestly, this was not my cup of tea. It does end with a cliffhanger, as most series do. And so I feel like I definitely want to read the second book. Yeah, I have to know how it ends, of course. So that's my thought about this. It's the rating that I'm going to give it is 3 stars. And I don't think I've ever given Sophie Lark's books a 3-star. But I feel like that's not a bad rating. It's still a good book. I was intrigued and interested. I kept reading. It wasn't a DNF. But honestly, like, it's not my favorite at all. Moving on to something that I actually did like a little bit better, also by Sophie Lark, we have The Heir, which pretty much Sophie calls it the Hogwarts for Mafia. And so it follows, I have to get these names right. It follows Anna and, what is his name? It follows Anna and Leo. Okay, so they're best friends since childhood. They're both the son and daughters of like mafia people. And they get letters, acceptance letter to go to this like mafia college, essentially. And this college, it's called Kingmakers. I'm like, and this college is called Kingmakers, and basically people send their children there to learn how to be like mafia stuff. It's sectioned off. There's different classes. There's like accountants, there's spies, there's the heirs, which is like the hardest because it's like it's pretty much like taking an AP course. Honestly, you have to know how to do everything because you're supposed to be the leader of like a mafia family. And Leo and Anna have like this crush on each other, but no one knows about it. And then there's like this rival, this family rival. His name is Dean. He's the bad boy. He's basically evil, but like they're all evil, but he's like a little bit more evil than everyone else. And it gets really interesting. I rated this 4 stars. I really loved this. And I think when I ended this book, I actually got like a snippet of the second book at the end, and I wanted to read it so bad, but I'm like, girl, you cannot read 3 Sophie Lark books when you're supposed to be reading everybody else's. I love this book. I gave it 4 stars because I just really didn't like the love between any of the boys. Like, there's a love triangle in here with Anna, and I didn't want her with any of them. Honestly, I feel like Anna should have just chosen herself because I didn't like Leo. I didn't like Dean. At first, I liked Dean. If you look at my updates as I'm reading, I always do updates of like the books that I'm reading. So I will say my thoughts as I'm reading them. Not spoilers though, but I was feeling Dean at first, and then he became a little too evil even for me. And I was like, all right, Dean. Like, at first I warned him. I was like, Dean, you losing me a little bit. And then he did some things. I was like, all right, no, you don't need him, Anna. Like, let him go. But Leo, I didn't care for him. I didn't. I just feel like she could do better. This guy was your friend your whole life, and he hasn't made a move. Like, like, you guys are almost adults. And then also, like, the way that both guys are written, they're like, it's like the lesser of 2 evils, honestly. They're both very arrogant, and the way that they're thinking, like Dean's like mindset and the way his point of view is just kind of disgusting. The way that he thinks, he's like, oh, I'm this, like, I'm the strongest guy, I'm the fastest guy, I know I can do this. And I'm just like, dude, chill. And I feel like I get the same vibe from Leo. It's just not as intense as Dean. So just go into knowing that everyone kind of is like morally gray in here, which I love. So that's why I really like this book. I feel like it is super thick for it to be the first book in the series. It has to lay the foundation. It has to introduce you to Kingmakers, tell you about like the history of it, how it works, everything like that. And I feel like the rest of the books will probably be 5 stars to me. I just feel like it was a lot of information all at once, and I just really didn't love the love between Leo and Anna or Dean. I didn't love any of the triangles. So that's why. But I feel like the next book is going to follow better people, and I'm probably going to love their relationship. So I already read a snippet of it, and it's going to be so much better. So love this. Next up, we have a 5-star read. I was not expecting this to be 5 stars. So this is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling. Did I say that right? Persephone retelling. So my first Hades and Persephone retelling was Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I absolutely love that. That was a 5-star for me as well. I was thinking that that was probably going to be the best Hades and Persephone retelling, but I stand corrected. I looked at this cover and I definitely judged it without reading it, and I was like, there's no way this is gonna beat Neon Gods. But honestly, I think I did enjoy it a little bit more. This one follows Persephone as like a college student. So in this, she's a college student, and Hades is kind of like a business owner. He's a club owner. They do have magical powers in here, but Persephone unfortunately does not have any powers. In fact, everything she touches pretty much dies. Like you know, honestly, that's kind of a superpower. But her mom is still Demeter, and there's like a really funny scene like later on in the book where I was like updating my Goodreads, and I was like, oh my god, her mom. Like, if you guys read that page, you will know. Like, it was embarrassing even for me. Like, I was so mortified for her. But it's so good. I actually really like their love. It's well written. I was into it. I really loved it. It's basically Persephone is going to college, and she's like a writer. So she's kind of like tasked with writing about Hades. And, you know, of course he's evil, and she is a god as well, but she is kind of like cloaked so no one can tell that she's a god. But she doesn't have any magic, so she's using her mother's magic. And of course, when Hades meet her, he like instantly knows that she's like a god. And it's just, yeah, so he basically is someone that if you go to his club, you can make a deal with him. If you play a game and lose, he can like tell you to do like literally anything. And so she plays a game of cards with him, and now he pretty much owns her. Like, he can tell her to do whatever. And so he gives her this task. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I love their love story. I love it so much. I will say at first, like, you guys can see, I will be taking this to Apollycon, and you can see that the note says not personalized, because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but I'm definitely changing this to personalized. I will be keeping this book. I want to get all the special editions of it. I'm obsessed. So like, I loved it. Out of all the books so far, this one, and I really like this one, and I really like A Deal with the Elf King. In fact, I don't think I told you guys about that. I will have to look back, because if not, I will have to talk about A Deal with the Elf King in just a second. Okay, so I am back because I realized I haven't told you guys about one of the books that I really, really loved, and that is A Deal with the Elf King. This is the Married to Magic series, and I adored this. Okay, so first off, I've never knew that elves were a thing that wasn't associated with Christmas. Am I the only one who didn't know that? Because this is like elves, but like, it's like, they're almost like fae. You know, they look very human-like. I think they have pointy ears. Yes, he has pointy ears, and they have magic. And I'm just like, I've never heard of that. So this was my first elf book, and I loved it. I freaking loved it. So it follows this character right here. I don't know her name. Oh, I remember. Her name was really Luella. Yes, that is a unique name. I will give you that, Elise. You named her Luella. Okay, so she is in a village, and it's kind of like Akatar a little bit, where it's like the humans live right here, and then the others live in their own land. There are fae in this world, there are vampires in this world, but you don't really get that in this book. This book is strictly about the elf people, but they do mention that there are fae and vampires, and I believe the other books in this series will be revolving around them. So the second book is about fae, from my understanding. And I think the third book, which is coming out soon, is about vampires. Okay, so she's from the human world, and they pretty much have this like agreement that the humans would sacrifice a human girl to be like the elf queen. So the elf king will just come, and they will give him a person and the human queen is like selected because she has like magical powers. Like that's how they'll know that that is the person to like give to him. But this time around, no one has magical powers. Like no one, they don't know who it is. So he comes there and he's like, I want my queen, you know? And so he finds this girl and like, he was like, okay, you're gonna go back. So it's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling where it's like she has to live with him forever. But it's not really a punishment because it's kind of like, you're rich. So same with ACOTAR, like, you know, I would be happy. But in this one though, I feel like there's like a mystery element as well, where it's like they're trying to figure out if a human queen is even necessary. Like, is there a way to, you know, exist without them having to sacrifice a human and her having to live away from her family? And she is someone who like practices like medicine, like herbal stuff. And so she feel like her community needs her. And so she's like desperately trying to figure it out so she can go back and continue to help people. I really like her magic in here because her magic is like from nature. And I feel like one of my closest friends, her name is Eva, and she's like really into nature as well. And I just was like, you have to read this book because her magic is like into nature. Like you would love this. So I did mention it. She did download it, but she has not read it. I see you, Eva. Okay, so 4 stars. I love this so much. The only reason why I docked it, honestly, I think it's like a 4.5. I'm doing half stars now. I never do half stars until this vlog, but I, once again, just wasn't feeling their love. I didn't feel it at all. Like, it was out of the blue. I did not see them as being a love interest. In fact, I saw her as being the love interest to his brother. Like, they had more chemistry to me. But then again, what am I? I always fall for the bad boys in the book. Like, even in ACOTAR, I just love Rhysand, but I don't like Tamlin. So, similar in this book, I don't really care for the Elf King, but his brother, like, you know, I like them together. They're cute. And even like there's Willow, like he's like an assistant to like the medical, you know, side in the elf world, the elf kingdom. And like I could even see her with him before the Elf King. Like he's just mean and no, I don't see it. And the love story was just kind of like really abrupt and out of nowhere. Like I didn't see any signs that these two people even had a remote crumb of attraction to each other. Like, you know, I didn't see it at all. And then all of a sudden they're like, I love him. I'm like, when? Like, how? What? I was so confused. It was definitely whiplash. This book could have been so much better without that love interest. Honestly, they could have just been king and queen and not have love in it, because that's how the previous like couples have done. Like they have had like they've been married in name only, and then they just did their own thing. That could have been the thing, because it's no chemistry between these people. I don't care what anybody says, there's no chemistry between them. But I really like the idea of her like finding the journals of past human queens and trying to like figure out the mystery. Like it reminded me a little bit of the Inheritance game, where we're like trying to figure out stuff. And I loved it. I wanted to read the second book immediately afterwards so bad, but I was like, Sigrid, you have to read other books from other authors. Like, you just have to. I recommend this. It was so good. Like, I loved it. I can't wait to meet them. I think even, I even said I really loved her book on the note, and I hope that she sees it, because I might be too shy to tell her in person, but I freaking love this so much. So yeah, anyways, that was all of the books that I have read so far. I will continue to read a little bit more. We have a little bit over a week before Apollycon. I'm going to show you the rest of the books that I have. I actually have them by my bed so that I can stay, ooh, that scared me. I actually have them by my bed so I can stay pretty much like motivated. So we have A Lot Like Adios by Alexis Daria. We have From Blood and Ash. This is high priority because I definitely can't go to Apollycon and not have read a JLA book. Like, it's impossible. Like, I can't do it. We have It Happened One Summer. I really want to read this. I've read like the first page of all of these books and I really like that one. Then we have The Love Hypothesis. I'm really excited to read this one because I've heard so many great things about it. Then we have Not the Witch You Wed. I'm a little not excited to read this. Like, I want to read it, of course, but like, it's okay if I don't. Like, you know, I just feel like I read a lot of witch books already, and I will get to this eventually, but like all the other ones are just really calling my name right now. We have A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I feel like I really have to read this one as well because I don't even have a tab to let me know whether I'm gonna get it personalized or not. So once I read this, I think when I read like a snippet of the first page, it was the least interesting to me. So I don't know. If I read this and I really like it, then I will choose to get it personalized. But if I read this and I'm just like, meh, I'm just going to get it signed. That way, if I choose to gift it to one of my friends, they don't have to worry about seeing "To Sigrid" in the book. It will just be signed by the author. I just like how it looks. I got the edition that's like really pretty. Oh, it matches my nails. Okay, so I think the next book that I'm going to read, honestly, I really want to read From Blood and Ash. But I kind of feel like I took so long with There Are No Saints. It took me like 5 days to read this. So I have been like reading this book for 5 days. I feel like I need to like do something that's lighter and shorter. So maybe one of these. I wish you guys could tell me like what to read next because I would do it. But honestly, I feel like I just want to do From Blood and Ash just to get it out the way. This should take me at the most 3 days. Right? Like, you guys think I can read this in 3 days? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna read this next because I feel like I really can get into some more fantasy right now. By the way, I am absolutely loving romantasy. So this vlog, this reading vlog, it has gotten me to understand that I love romantasy. It's actually becoming like one of my favorite like genres. Like, I know I love thrillers and nothing can replace it, but romantasy is kind of like really close. Like From Blood and Ash, A Deal with the Elf King. Is there anything else? Even A Touch of Darkness, it was kind of like romantasy as well. The Bridge Kingdom was good. I already read that one though, but I will be getting it signed. But like, romantasy is just so good. There will be a panel at Apollycon that is like based on romantasy, and I really hope I can get in there because now I'm like, it's like one of my favorite genres. Like, what? Okay, so I'm gonna try to read a little bit of this tonight, and that is all of the books that I have read so far. Still got another week to go. I'm going to come back and like add some things in once I've read like a couple more books, so I have more to talk about. But yeah, hopefully I can get everything read by the 28th. If not, you know, this was an interesting vlog to do. This was really fun. But yeah, until then, I will see you guys in the next clip. Hi friends. So I've been to Apollycon and I realized that I forgot to close out my reading vlog. So it's August 7th right now. So the last time I did an update, it was still in July before Apollycon. So I did end up reading one more book, and that was not The Witch You Wed. I did talk trash about this book because I was like, I'm not in the mood to read a witch book. Read this book. It was 5 stars. It was fantastic. I ended up tabbing. It was amazing. So this book follows Violet Maxwell. She is so it's a witch book. She's a witch. She's actually a triplet. She's the oldest of 3 sisters who are triplets. And it's kind of reminds me of Charmed, when it's like there's 3 sisters and they're like the most powerful like being or whatever. So because she's the oldest, there's like responsibilities that she has. In the witch community, she is supposed to like do a bond ceremony where she marries someone who is also magical. And so that's what she's dealing with. And it follows Lincoln Thorne. He is a shifter, a wolf shifter, if that makes sense. So in this book, there's like a lot of different magical creatures. There's witches, there's vampires, there's shifters, but not necessarily all of them shifts into wolves. They could shift into other animals as well. So Lincoln is a wolf shifter, and he's also the alpha, which is like the leader of a pack. So he's kind of like a celebrity in this book. Magical creatures are not hidden in this world. It's kind of like everyone knows, and they respect them and stuff. So Lincoln and Violet has like a history together, like a dating history. I think when they were like teenagers, they dated, and something happened. I'm not going to really go into details because it is part of the plot, but let's just say this is a second chance romance. It is good, you guys. It is so freaking good. So I love her sisters as well, and I talked to April Asher. She's the author of the book, and she was telling me that there's a second book coming out that follows one of the other sisters. So it reminds me of a little bit like Talia Hibbert's Brown sister series, where each book follows a different sister. So book 1 is going to follow Violet. Book 2 is going to follow I think her sister Rose. Yes. Oh, she signed it. So I'm back from Apollycon, so she definitely signed this book for me. She said, let your magic guide you. Oh my gosh, I have magic. Thank you. But anyways, yeah, so I went to Apollycon. I'm super excited. I have so much to go over. I have so many books to haul for you guys, but that will be in a separate video. I also want to talk about my experience overall, what you guys should be expecting. So I'm going to do this video, and I will film that next video probably today, and then I will put it up soon, so expect that. But just know that this was the last book that I read. I rated it 5 stars, and honestly, I recommend it. If you guys like witch books, it's kind of like a contemporary, but it is like a bit supernatural. It's so good. Like, it's really good. I love it. I will be pre-ordering the second book. I'm obsessed. And when I met April, she kind of recommended some of her other books that she writes under the name April Hunt, which is like romantic suspense. So I will be picking up some of those as well. But I'm super excited. Like, I just love this book so much. Plot twist, I did not get to From Blood and Ash. I know. And I was like, oh, it's impossible. I didn't get to it. I wanted to. It sounds really interesting, but it took me forever to finish reading this. I kind of fell into kind of like a reading slump almost, and it took me forever to read this book. I was supposed to read From Blood and Ash after this, but I don't know what happened. I will still pick it up. As long as I finish before I go back to Apollycon next year, I should be fine. But yeah, that is my wrap up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will have another video up with all of the amazing books that I was able to get from Apollycon, and I will be talking about my experience. And I would say overall I had a really amazing time, and I'm so happy I got to meet April Asher and all of my other faves. I'm pretty sure all of the books that I read, I got signed. No, I didn't meet Scarlett St. Clair, so I didn't get A Touch of Darkness signed. But I will, hopefully she'll be there next year and I'll get to get it signed, but I was a little upset about that. But I did get another book. I got a free book. Yeah, I ended up getting this book for free from Apollycon, so they made up for it. But I'll tell you guys what happened in my next video. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye.